Man, fuck it. I'll continue. 11:30. It's only been like 30 minutes and I've been here for 3 hours. Shit. Supreme Court of Judication Defendants Antechamber 5. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. I had was in my mouth the entire time. Was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there, you were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistency in the testimonies. And I have opened a bank account, send me money now. You should be sending money to me. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the insides of a courtroom again. Bye bye KK. Have a good rest. Maybe see you tomorrow for Sally Face. How are you doing, Mitch? Why do you need hentai text? Why? Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, it looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Wasn't the one that you sent to me the most scarring? You know that one about the zombie? Miss Giselle Brett. A student from Great Britain, is she? Oh fuck, I missed out. A student from, that's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. That the Wilson wasn't alone. Oh. There was a young woman with him. Like, I've been saying it all along. Oh damn. You good? You good, Mitch? Yes, you have. Haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, since the 3DS, because this game was, I think, originally on the 3DS, I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot has come from. The waiter ran over to me, looked at the looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me in some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Yes. His hairband has its own wind current. As thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba. Well, seems I was right. The pair of you makes an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. I have more weird news, but I don't want to publicly share, so I might tell you later. Yeah, just send it through Discord. Oh, yeah. Yes, it seems you have planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so, which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyers or not, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst case of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyways. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'll feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Yeah, he's the head of the medical faculty. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA, and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. I would say 0.01%. Yes, 0.01%. Anyways, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary length to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. If I buy you Honey Pop on PC, will you send me the picture uncensored? No, I would not. Honey Pop. Actually, I've only watched Honey Pop, but I'm not like very good at Candy Crush type of game. And I'm not that horny enough, you know. Not horny enough to be bribed with that game. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo. Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. There's not even 30 minutes though. What the heck? Let's go in there and do a decisive blow before those old fossils know what hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? Do you think this is Edgeworth's ancestor? What for? Well, if you haven't said you believed in me, then I'm fairly sure I'm already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend, coming from you, that means a lot. And so Kazuma's days were numbered. He died from a heroin overdose, and Ryunosuke was left in the dirt. He was found guilty. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up his dreams of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely can't afford to lose. Alrighty then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume's cafeteria or on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. 449. Alright. The real battle starts. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Subpoena. Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we've forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation's founders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really that fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial? Anxiety over some foreign government's opinions? A bungo investigations? Missing witnesses? Is this really what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation of our nation find itself in. By aligning ourselves with their great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy have never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what we secure our futures. I wouldn't deny that I'm no expert, but I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror, you really little brats. Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Your Excellency! What happened? Oh, look at that! Look at that swan. Very well. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea? Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that really true? No idea. So, ahem. Could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Fusunaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at the La Carneval. Yes, we know all about that you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. Really? More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observations are the only thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but power of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. It is an Ace Attorney game. Who wouldn't have a headache for the sounds, you know? I'm slowly losing my mind here. So dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. I am a phantom. Wee. Up to swell. Squiggly squiggly. Is she not English? I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? Squiggly 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 squiggly? It's English. Oh! That makes sense. Oh, my small brain. Squiggly 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 squiggly? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in Yume University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you say, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. He's really like kissing the ass of the British, you know. The squiggly brand. As far as I can tell. Okay. Bye bye. Bye bye, Ash. I may rate you later. Wait, you're streaming right later? Or like now? Bye bye. I'll rate you later. Laters. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. Haha. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? No, you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carneval, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim Dr. Wilson at the time. Cursed italics. Is that correct? Did you dine with Dr. Wilson on the day of this murder? Question mark? I did indeed dine at the restaurant, but I was not with Dr. Wilson at the time. She says, yes. What? There was a lot of words coming out, but he only translated yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. I may not speak Japanese, but I do understand those people are talking shit about me. And please, punish them accordingly according to Japanese law of defamation. She says that she'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the bureau. No. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over to this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eye caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Yes, I did see them. Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say, yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Damn, boy. Order! Order in the court! Hold on, I'm chewing. I'm snacking while streaming. Alright, mage. See you later. Or, yeah, do your shit. Do your stuff. Thank you for looking. Always appreciate it. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolute conclusive witness statement. Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Witness testimony. Frightening and sorrowful sight. I've arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right between the eyes. Now that's a lie. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Aha, that is where you are wrong, lady. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with that professor at all. Quiet, you filthy wench. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard, and look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you could imagine whose words the court is gonna believe. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goated like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's annoying. Oh, of course. I was at the scene as well. I took the statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved and so I let her go. The testimony of these last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she can, maybe the head. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. I think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to hide a hidden weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's only words on the matter. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I can prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, are you? But I didn't find the gun. But I didn't find the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's where we have to prove it now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. That smile. That filthy smile. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh yes, Your Excellency. I know where I should stand here. So it's here. Yes. E. Hehe, you think that you can get away with that? I was wrong. That statement is clearly odd. What? What appears to be odd is that you're presenting yourself. Oh, pay no attention, Your Excellency. As you wish. Now kindly lower your hand. Wait! That's dumb! The accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Oh, I thought it was between the eyes. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyways, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If you can't do that, the trial's over. Even you, with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous look you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is to press her on any of her statements that seems even slightly off to you. Do that and an opening will present itself, I promise. Need to expose the true fate of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. It's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Okay. After a while, yes. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did was I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyways, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett, does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyways. English is the future. We must all supiku Ingurishu. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, huh? Oh, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyways, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his seat. That part ties with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Okay. And not long after, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right between the eyes. Shot in front of my eyes. Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there is no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, There was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time. Huh? That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Dirty. Your baseless accusations could very well cause an internal incident, boy. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. Tusk, huh? What nonsense. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyways. Yes, it is. Don't carry a gun. Do you carry a gun? It's all very well said that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure that the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctively remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector? No. Why on earth not? The honorable Englishwoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter. Or, there was no permission given for any further probing in the matter, perhaps? Think what you will, but if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Yes. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she is in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime, which is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify here in the court today, of course. Unlike a certain student who refused to admit when the game is up. Wait, that's me! You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him, which is an in and out and totally unfounded lie. Wait, we've been through this. Maybe just like push through. So I need to press her in like almost all of her statements. Okay. But why though? At 2 PM in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it? You don't keep up with the latest fashions. You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue, isn't that right? No. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research lab, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which can be proved. Which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So, we both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered myself only a beef steak. Nope. He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at the Hoto clinic, correct? That's right. Supposed to actually check with the victim before answering? Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor had to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying event. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. We have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. That the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Wait, what? Wilson, that's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diner toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the... It's very meaningful. Because we only see one glass. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Do tell, what is this profound bearing, The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness' last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she says. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than Ryunosuke. Okay. Said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. Aha, that's when... That's a lie. You know why? Because there's only one glass. You can't drink water. That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you speak of this print showing the victim table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... It's odd. Very odd. Dear me. What's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, then where is the other glass? Ah, You're quite right, Counsel. There's only one glass pictured here. Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over uh minute minute this minute detail? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on this case? It makes a lot of difference. Minute, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do such a thing so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you gonna try to tell me you can clink with only one? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Ooh. Ooh. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I've been there at all, she says. Good gracious. Sorry. Ah, it pains me so much. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student has just murdered this lady's lunch companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray? That's absurd! Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No, 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 no. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into her small handbag she was carrying. Then she can hide a gun in that handbag. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass was absolutely no bearing on this case. The student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. Nothing, I say. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the fact to have no bearing on this case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there is a deeper significance, there is significance there. It's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes. Do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you picked up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce that there must be another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You you can't be seriously be suggesting. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle's Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. Dun dun dun! Order! 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 What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Auchi? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks for your bungling incompetence. Now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now, we have a chance to expose the real women behind the mask. Do you think? Do you think so, Kazuma? Ahem, 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 ahem. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. Why is that? Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Wait a minute. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags are like this. Meshwork bags like this are at the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible then. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there has been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilty here. Thank you. And goodbye. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. I'm dead. I'm dead. Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. Okay. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter and must make my ruling. Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion: that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No, just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? Tusk, huh? Must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat while the strong eat. You're wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma? What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest, which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Oh no. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we'll now be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of this evidence. Wait, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke. I don't think you can rule on this case yet. This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of this courtroom. His Excellency, just a moment ago, said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on this case at this time would be out of the question. This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court scrutiny. However, I fail to see... However, I fail to see how we can glean any fact information from this handbag. My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezing. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity. Holy damn, I'm like getting my words jumbled up. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So take another look at this photographic print Inspector Kusunaga submitted before. You will identify for the courtroom where in this print you can see the significant detail in which you have alluded to. Wait, Nani? Oh fuck. Is it this one? It's so blatant though. Look at this here. It's a very unusual mark on this victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of description. What? Dear me, I was pondering what new pillif you would come up with. A burn, you say, on this victim's wrist. But that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, you have no idea what the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. It's a burn. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of the mark. It looks like it is a bull. However, as Prosecutor Auchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on this precise detail of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyways. What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? Oh, wait. Why even give ruling? It's not that. Is it this one? Yes. Wait. It's on his right hand. Since it's on his right hand, he can't. But why is it here though? Because he's slumped. He is slumped like away from the seats. Okay. So what I think is the chair was facing the table. Okay, his chair was facing the table. But she shot him. He jumped and hit his hand on the beef plate. Yeah, something like that. To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hopes that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If you can just link that burn to the case, if you can do that, then we might be able to price this shutting door back open again. Ooh. Just give up, counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that is irrefutably linked to the burn on the victim's wrist in the case, then would you allow it? I would, yes. To tell you the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn, but as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color drained from Miss Brett's face. Really, I have to find out some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves that the burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrate an inexpressible connection between the victim's burn and the straw. Yes, it's this one. Examine wine glass. Aha, there's a bull. Tang tang tang. Was this, counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss some things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded furthermore. Do hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have an unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here furthermore. What? How? You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Is this one? The beefsteak? Actually, the point in the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Your Excellency? Are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on this plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark to La Carneval. The emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. The Cornet's team is coming up, boy babies. Ryunosuke, you genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered his burn while he was present. The victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. Okay. But we already know that he was present at the restaurant though. But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. Wait. It could have been the day before or the day before that. It's most likely happened at some other unrelated time. Well, Wait, I don't understand though. Sadly, Prosecutor Auchi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion at the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosunaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster. Certainly. But I would say, looking at this picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim would have let out a scream of pain then. Been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter at La Carneval, I can testify that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter. Oh, this is turning up. Come on. Now he has the slam. He has the slam down. There you have it. Something isn't right here. This is the point where he becomes an actual ace detective right here, boys and girls and non-binary. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no questions of that. And yet, Inspector Hosunaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then, the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antique dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Auchi? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think... Come on, can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. Fuck! There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was asleep. Because the anesthetic, you would say? No, let me consult the records. This is clearly okay. Possession. Okay, he couldn't feel anything. So yeah, he's asleep, not deceased. He was asleep. He was killed in his sleep. Yes, the professor, with his tendency to nod off, was asleep when his hand fell on the piping hot plate and didn't even notice the burn happening. He didn't even know the professor, and yet here you are labeling him as a dim-witted dozer. Fuck! How about hold your wrist on a hot plate and see if you can sleep through it? But perhaps the scream you let out will wake you up a bit. But it's nice that there's this frankness developing between us, partner. Don't call me partner after coming up with that nonsense like that. Fuck no. This is a critical moment. It may very well be our only chance to turn things in our favor. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it. Or rather, you have to do it. You're the only one who can. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. Suffered the burn on his wrist. No, he's already deceased then. No man could remain silent when his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Oh wait, fuck. That's clearly impossible apart from in one particular situation. Also, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Dead? Knowing what we know now is the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness. Order, order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student. But clearly, he has no grasp of this fact. No, Prosecutor Auchi, it's you who has no grasp of the fact. Beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear this from the witness itself. Witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. But extra anesthetic maybe? Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your lunch agreement. But Your Excellency, the justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Were you smiling? What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'll be delighted to help, especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. She can speak Japanese. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter all along, up until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tone as much as possible. You calling Japanese vulgar? How dare you! But it seems that the man in your land possesses none of that chivalrous virtue of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this. This is lavish consideration you so gracefully afford us. My God, I'm losing my ability to speak. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Witness testimony. Victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses to a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death beside the gunshot. If that's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigation technique probably wouldn't pick up on it anyways. You think. Devil, you. That was most captivating and beautiful that most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope that it is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. You insulted a whole nation. And he's just kissing up to the lady, man. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Wait, what was that, a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive that irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with this cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any possible problems with this witness testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Oh boy. Yes! Come on. Come on, Ryunosuke. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with your cross-examination. I'll be pressing on all of the on like that. Let's do this. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed it. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't have not noticed that, can you? Hmm? What? Ah! Ha! What fun! You haven't realized. The dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can. Well, I can't. Anyways. When the waiter brought out my steak... Okay, come on. Press on everything. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of that water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. Ah, I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefits of the others in the court, it means bless you. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyways, as far as I've heard, okay, come on. Press on all of the statements. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma? Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. It can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. Hello, Mika. I was playing Minecraft. So Ryunosuke has reached the point of Ace Attorney when he has reached the level of Ace Attorney, right? When he learned how to slap his palms on the table, to make the sound instead of a slap, a bang instead of a slap. Now we're on the final stretch, and then I can finish up this stream. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he might already have been dead at the point. And yet the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot in the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Ouchie? Anyways. Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can't be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death. That's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbids, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument feels rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. She's a devil, wearing sheep's clothing. Oh my honor, Taketsuchi Ouchi will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions? Way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back that up. Yes, evidence. But of course, this country's inferior investigation technique probably wouldn't pick it up right away. She just told herself, man. Just told on herself. Let's finish up. Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the land of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. La Carneval is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction... Wait, what the fuck was that? That actually scared me, holy shit. Ooh. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It doesn't even occur to your native detective to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful as I can. You understand? Haha, a killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. It's actually admitting our policy may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. Yeah, the inspector was coughing. Funaga, what do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. I need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Azuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? What do you mean? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hosunaga. The detective? The detective? Yes. She seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Bennett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on the last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself... Ah! You sly fox. Revealing 10. Let's see what you can get out of the detective. Alrighty then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Unfortunately, wait. Skip to the end. Let's see. What do you mean by that? In the land of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for a little examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. La Carneval. Okay. Exactly, which means that... Exactly, which means that... Wait, can I click on this? Yes. There it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they are usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when you're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thought. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all about it's all to do with the witness marker. What do you mean marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Okay. But by moving the marker left or right with A and D, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. Oh, this is new. While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with space. You can catch the person at just the right time. You might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere look amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so I should move the marker across A and D and focus on the detective, then pursue him with space, and show what's on his mind. Here we go. Exactly which... Wait. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sir. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his own thoughts. Deeply. Looks like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard that the lady next to you had to say. Honored? Is this the Honored team? If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court. What is the meaning of this? Oof. It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. Hmm? The detective is in his stand, which makes him a valid witness. Oh wait, he's gone. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosunaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as the ones used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hosunaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. Ahem. A crime scene thief. Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched the nerve there. Take this for example. Is that? It's a bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. Ahem. I can't say I condone the witnesses' actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Carbonated water has been entered into the court records. Okay. Can I examine it? Can I pour out all the contents? So this is carbonated water. Is the last drink Wilson ever had. It's like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. No, I've been sweating so much. I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to get me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone all quiet now. I think I might just have worked out an interesting possibility. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I'm asking. And go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. Don't need to be a dick about it, right? Holy shit. Miss Brett, can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seems to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination, and the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Ahem. I have 4 more. I can do this. I will not be defeated. I'll present this. Let's see. Okay. What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was actually poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip of his glass? Order! 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 And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done that. Giselle Brett, it was you! This is outrageous, to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you ever considered the delicate situation of our country finding itself in now? Have you forgotten that we were only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you ever the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty? This is not political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth and the truth alone. Ahem, if I may, I will silence you forever for this. It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady. Where did that come from? She just stabbed. Let me see that face. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. Sorry, my lady. What are you referring to? I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whatever is contained, poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the insides of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I ordered the test for every toxins that is available in this country at the present time. We couldn't find no traces of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the Chief Coroner himself. No. No! Oh. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point? Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me, I really must be leaving. Huh? A new challenger approaches! Please, wait. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Oh boy, it is continued. You know what? It's already been 4 hours.